Hi guys, it's Sophia and welcome back to another episode of Styles After Dark. As always, this is a place where I want others and people to feel seen and heard, and this is a place where I want everyone to feel like they can be themselves and be accepted for who they are and as they come. But also, we are always striving to be better, learn, and grow. If you follow me on my socials and if you know me, you know, or if you stopped in 2 weeks ago, you might have noticed I did not upload an episode. I took a mental health break and I took a social media break, and it was so refreshing. I was struggling mentally, and um, that's going to play a role into this episode today. Today is going to be an episode on mental health. This is a trigger warning right now. We will be discussing depression, suicide, and loneliness. So if that is at any point too much for you or that is something that might trigger you, just know that we will be discussing that in today's topic. Yeah, it feels so amazing to be back, and I'm so excited to share with you guys the things that I have been going through, but also the tips that have helped me as I was struggling with my mental health, and also, getting vulnerable as always and hoping that this finds the right person, this finds someone in need of help or just to feel seen. So, y'all already know before it's time to do. Can I get a drum roll, please? Drink of the week. All right. We have left our poppy series with the drinks, you guys. This is sparkling strawberry soda from my girl Trader Joe's. Or should I say my boy Trader Joe's? So I have already tasted this, but I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts once again, even though I know what it tastes like. Let's talk outfit real quick. Hello. I'm wearing a yellow shirt with a strawberry on it, and this soda is a strawberry. I don't know about you guys, but I am a girly girl. And this matching, yes, it was on purpose. Of course I coordinated it. Of course. What do you mean? As of today's date, this drink is the best soda I have ever had. It is so strawberry, it is so girly pop, and it is so delish. If you are a girly who loves cute drinks and yummy sodas, this is the drink for you. Trader Joe's, please sponsor me because I'm also in love with strawberries and this is a must. Being vulnerable and putting my personal experiences on the internet is very intense. It always makes me nervous, and it takes a lot of strength mentally to be able to share myself. But with the responses that I always get from you guys, with the love and the support and the stories that I hear of you guys DMing me of how it helps you guys, it it fuels the it fuels the fire. I'm not a licensed therapist. I have no classes. This is just me getting vulnerable in my room and sharing my experiences with you guys and some tips that help me, because I believe I try my best to be a better person, to handle things as best as possible through the grace of God, through the strength of God and my religion, my Christianity. Mental health is very important. Mental health is something a lot of us struggle with. And yeah, I don't want to take that as a joke. I don't ever want to take that lightly, and it should be prioritized. I am an overworker. I'm always someone who fills their time up with work, work, work. I would say that I have unintentionally used it as my way to escape. And had to learn that due to a month ago when I found myself in a very dark place. I found myself struggling mentally, and I found myself asking for help from my loved ones because it got to a point where I didn't know what to do and I just wanted to feel better. And thankfully, I'm in a much better place, but there were things I had to do to get here. And with an amazing support system and with God and with challenging myself and trying my best to stay positive even though I was going through things mentally, I'm glad I did things the way I did. And now I'm standing here, thankfully, to be able to share those things with you. I had the worst anxiety. I was restless. I was very sad. I couldn't stop crying. I was depressed. I think this can go different ways because there's people who can recognize that they're depressed and it's very obvious, and around them you can just tell. And then there can be someone like me who avoids their depression or doesn't acknowledge it, and it almost just hits them and they have to acknowledge it. I was overworking myself and drowning myself on social media, posting consistently, posting every day, doing everything I love, but to an unhealthy extent, and also in a way to escape probably my mental health. Certain things I won't be discussing today just for my own privacy and my own safety. For those of you who have never experienced depression, possibly, or have experienced, I just want to give the definition from this column by my.clevelandclinic.org. They describe depression as a common mental health condition that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and changes in how you think, sleep, eat, and act. There are several different types. Depression is treatable, usually with talk therapy, medication, or both. I would say that I've dealt with depression, and many of us have probably dealt with depression or anxiety after traumatic events. You know, maybe you're dealing with a past. Maybe you're dealing with losing a loved one, losing your job, experiencing a heartbreak with a relationship or a friendship. There was no series of events that had happened. It just slowly crept up on me. And that's why I feel like it's so important to talk about it, because sometimes you just experience it. It was just like, well, I don't know why. I have everything. I have God. I'm grateful. I have a house. I have a roof over my head. I have a career. I have everything I could possibly need and want in my life. So why am I sad? What's ironic is I ended up finding out after taking rest, taking a social media break, that it was loneliness, because I've made videos on the lonely chapter and how when you're in a season of loneliness, it should be a great thing. And sometimes, and the calm before the rainbow and all this stuff, it made me look at depression and loneliness in a whole different light and have a different perspective of compassion for any future friends of mine or loved ones that might be dealing with it for no reason, because sometimes there is no reason. And I feel like people always think there has to be a reason. And it's funny, my best friend told me that too. Like, some people, family members will be like, well, there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason why you're so sad. When people are feeling suicidal, there has to be a reason. It's like, no, sometimes there isn't. The first thing that we're going to need to do when you're dealing with depression or anxiety, or if you have found yourself feeling suicidal, first of all, there's a suicide hotline and you dial the number. If you are thinking about it, if you need someone to talk to, please call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 988 on your phone. Just know that I love you and you are loved, if you are watching this. But stay with us. Today, God loves you, I love you, and there are people who love you, and you are not alone. I promise. Fear, depression, loneliness, it's not taking us with it. No, no, no. We are getting saved today. The first thing is the realization and the awareness that you are struggling mentally. The second thing we're going to need to do is we're going to have to declutter and clear our mind. So for me, this looked like staying off of social media. I think for some of us, and especially if you're a content creator or your job is on the phone, computer, whatever it is, it can be something, an escape outlet. And for me, sometimes it's an escape outlet, but it's also an outlet of comparison. where you're comparing yourself and you're comparing your lives, and it can make things sad. It can make things depressing to see other people's lives and to see what other people are doing and to see other people being happy and smiling while we're not feeling our best. So we need to shut that out. I was like, okay, we need to stop prioritizing work, everyone else, family. Right now, when you're feeling this way, the biggest priority is yourself and your mental health. You need to put you, so we need to declutter and clear our mind and get some rest. Rest and sleep is so important. We need to make sure that we're getting enough sleep. That is something I struggle with. When I start not feeling the best mentally, typically it's because I'm staying up late, I'm overusing my phone, I'm on social media too much. So we need to take the steps. Maybe there is something that's not healthy that you're doing. Maybe you're consuming a lot of alcohol. Maybe you're partying a lot. Maybe you're committing to too many things at once, overworking yourself, AKA I was doing that as well. Whatever it is, you come first. It will be there later, and I promise it will. And when I was talking to my mom, she was like, Sophia, you need to take a social media break. You need to reflect on how this could be impacting your mental health. And I was like, no, like, are you crazy? Absolutely not. What what's gonna happen to me if I don't go a day without posting? I'm gonna lose, like, I spiral. I start to think that life is going to move so fast. Again, it's an escape outlet for me. So it's if I am not posting every day, if I'm not doing something at every minute of the day, if I'm just taking the time to relax, I might lose control. But that's exactly what I need to do to really get control of myself, my mental health, work on having control of me and you too. The next thing we're going to do is understand it. While I was feeling really depressed, I felt like I had lost inspiration. I felt like things weren't fulfilling me anymore. Everything was such a chore, and took everything in me to just complete like the smallest task. I had Googled in the meantime until I saw a professional, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I think I'm dealing with depression." And once I understood that, I was like, "Okay, well, now that we know what we're dealing with, how are we going to handle it?" Maybe you need to go seek a professional therapist, professional psychiatrist, get some testing done to see how you feel so that you can really diagnose what is going on with you on whatever you're dealing with. The fourth or fifth thing, whichever one this is tell someone. And I know you guys always hear, "Oh, tell people, it helps. It's super important to tell your family." I understand, I promise, how scary that is. And also, depending on your support system, depending on the people around you, I know that sometimes when it comes to certain cultures, certain family backgrounds, we don't necessarily get the support we need, and it actually might make things worse depending on who we tell. But all you need is one person, one really good friend, one amazing family member. But whatever you do, please talk to people. That was one of the biggest things that helped me throughout bettering my mental health, was talking about it and with people I trusted and my family. Again, we have to take mental health serious, and grabbing a friend and being like, "Hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you be here for me?" And I'm so thankful that I had a support system who asked, "What do you need? How can I help?" And what's funny is sometimes they can't even help. Sometimes you just need someone to listen and know that they're there for you. But I understand that if you might be struggling mentally or dealing with depression or loneliness, and I'm so sorry, but if you're dealing with any suicidal thoughts or anything like that, it might feel like you don't want to talk about it. You might be like, there's nothing they can do to help. And I've been there. But the thing is that it almost felt like I wasn't just keeping all the thoughts to myself. I wasn't just letting it build up. And at least throughout my days or throughout the week, I had people checking in on me. And in a sense, it helps to know that you're not alone in this time. To be able to let it out and just have people listen is such a big factor in healing and getting better. I do not say that lightly. I promise. Again, it is important who you tell. And I understand that sometimes people don't know how to handle things that are so heavy, like mental health. If not, then you can always seek professional help. And one of the things that luckily my family advised, and I advise you guys as well, is social media is so big now. And technology is amazing, and we have people who have platforms that are giving free information and letting out videos to help with dealing with these moments and these waves of depression, of mental illness that come in sometimes in our lives, these chapters, these seasons of life where we're dealing with mental health. That is one of the pros of social media and technology, is now we have so many therapists, coaches, mental health experts. Back in the day, we didn't have access to those things. So take that to your advantage. I think one thing we have to remember when we're dealing with depression is, in the moment, it can feel like it's, when is this going to end? Because it overtakes your mind, body. It overtakes your mind and body. But you have to remember, this is just a wave. It is just a season. You are not alone. There are so many people who deal with it, but remind yourself it's just a bump in the road. You know, sometimes life is going to knock you down. It is. Life is life. It's not all happiness and rainbows. We need to normalize that depression is very common. Let's not think that just because we're depressed, this is what life is going to look like now going forward, because it's not. Let's not become the depression, and let's not put that on us. And even if you go to a professional and get diagnosed with depression and they medicate you or whatever, that is not who you are. Depression is not you. Depression does not mean this is your life and this is who you are, and so this is how you have to live it. I want to choose my words very carefully when I say, like, we want to be a victim to it, but it's not necessarily that. It's just, it's not defining us. My support system was so loving and supportive, and they kept validating what I was struggling with, which was my mental health. And I'm so grateful for that. And I just want to validate you right now that your emotions are real and you are going through something, but I promise you it is not permanent. But you have to tell yourself that too. Call me a Gen Zer. Go touch grass. One thing I truly believe in when we're feeling so down, isolation is not the key, and that's what keeps us in this place. Get out. You get to a point when you're so low that you just want to be in bed, you want to be away from the world. You're so low, you don't have the energy to go out and do something. But no, we can't do that. Go to the grocery store, go to the mall, but get your body moving. I kept doing everything I was doing. I did not stop running. I was struggling to run one day, and it was so hard to keep doing the things that I was doing. Don't let your mind win. Whatever you were doing before this came, whatever you do typically that helps you be an overall better person and helps you mentally, you have to continue those things. Sometimes I feel bad because I feel like there are some people who, I was talking about this with another friend, but some people are a little more strong minded than others naturally. And I do believe in that, because sometimes I wonder, well, why am I able to still run where someone else really can't find the courage and the strength to get out of bed? If you're watching this video and maybe you're someone who's struggling to find the courage to get out of bed, girl, get up right now. Maybe it's because I have God in my life. Maybe it's my faith. And not even a maybe. I know it's my faith that gives me the strength, and my relationship with God. I think He truly just does have my back, because He's made me so strong minded. And in a way, I do think I have the kingdom mentality to fall back on. And that's what we talked about in church today. When you are kingdom minded, you are able to I think, come back stronger because the foundation and your beliefs when it comes to your Christianity help you through these times. And so if you have been questioning your walk with Jesus or trying to find your faith, then please do. I made a comeback, and I made a comeback so fast. And it's inevitable when you believe in Christ and when you believe in God. So back to touching grass. I went to a park nearby and I laid out a blanket. I put on some worship music or whatever music that you want to listen to. Side note, you are what you consume. If you're listening to sad music when you're depressed, that is only going to feed the fuel. And I know that you guys are probably like, no, I love my sad music, blah, blah, or like, I just want to feel like, no, sad. I had to stop because when I was feeling depressed, I was listening to it because that's all I just wanted to drown in my depression. But once I was like, no, like I need to fight this, I can't let the depression win. I stopped completely because it was just kicking me down more and further. And we have to recognize those little changes that might help with our battle that we're fighting. I put on fun music, I laid my blanket on the grass, and I soaked up the sun and I just prayed. I journaled my emotions and I just started naming things that I was grateful for and truly just being in the present. Because sometimes when we're battling with anxiety and depression, we're living in the past or we're living in the future, being in the moment and being in beautiful scenery. Y'all, the park is free, okay? We literally can go to a park for free. So there's no reason why you can't get up and go enjoy the day and just get some fresh breath air. Escape your room, get out of the house, but just go do something. Go hang out with friends, even when you don't feel like it. The more we stay in and the more we just drown, the more we get deep into it. And so I really want to concentrate on like how makes such those little things really do impact moving forward in bettering our mental health. And the last thing is seek professional help. Like I said earlier, it is so important to talk to a therapist, to go get tested, seek a psychiatrist. I want to revisit social media and phones and technology being a reason why depression is at a higher rate, suicidal rates are a higher rate. Like it's such a place where we isolate the most and we just get so fixated on our phones and go through rabbit holes of like TikTok videos, and we almost lose ourselves in the media world and don't know how to live in the world of reality, the real world. In this column of columbiapsychiatry.org, it literally says the advent of smartphones and social media has brought about significant changes in our society with profound implications for mental health. Smartphones have transformed the way we communicate, learn, and entertain ourselves. However, I don't know how to say this, don't come at me. Their omnipresence can lead to compulsive use and a sense of dependency. The constant stream of notifications and updates can create a sense of urgency and a fear of missing out, leading to increased anxiety and stress. Furthermore, the excessive use of smartphones can interfere with sleep, which is crucial for mental health. Social media platforms, while enabling us to connect with others and share experiences, can also contribute to feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. The tendency to compare